Hey ladies, sorry it's been so long since my last update. To be honest, I really haven't felt like recording for a while. There's been opportunities where I've been able to, but I'm just kind of like, I'd rather not. um, so yeah, I don't have any notes today. I just decided to do this on a whim because if I don't do it now, God knows when I'm gonna do it. So in my last video, I am not really sure where I left off as far as where I was. I know obviously I had my negative beta, but I'm not sure whether I had started my period or not. So I started my period 2 days after stopping the Crenone and Minival estrogen patches, and it was definitely a heavier period than normal and more crampy. It was a ton of fun. So we decided to jump right into our frozen embryo transfer, and I kind of told my reasonings to why I was leaning that way in my last video. I would really hate to, recover from such an emotional roller coaster that I've been going through since April, just to, have the chance of having to go through it again and have a negative outcome. So we decided we were ready now. I especially, wanted to just get it over with. And I promise I do not mean that in a negative way. I promise. It just goes back to, the whole healing time, just to jump right back in this another emotional phase in my life for this year. Because trust me, guys, I am ready to say goodbye to 2013. It was a definite up and down year for multiple reasons. So yeah, I started my birth control on cycle day 4 again, like I did for every other time that I've been on birth control, which is probably about 5 times now. And I did use a different brand of birth control because I was having bad reactions. And when I say bad reactions, I mean it could have been worse, but I was a hot mess on that birth control. I was definitely emotional, and I don't know. And mainly it was, the last time I took it, because I had been on the same brand every single time, but I don't know if it was, just stressed that I was actually for real going to go into my fresh cycle after that or what, but I didn't really want to take the chance. So I had them switch and ended up paying a buttload because on my prescription it said, do not authorize any other type of birth control, even if it's a generic. So I ended up paying like $80 for, a pack of birth control that I wasn't even going to take a full month's supply worth. I was only supposed to take 16 pills, but I ended up taking more than that, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So I was on my birth control. I really wish I could tell you when I started my birth control. All I know is 2 days after my negative beta and stopping my Crenone, I got my period, and then 4 days after that I started my birth control. And then my last day of birth control was supposed to be the 27th of October. However, it wasn't, because we ran into a hiccup because my husband's not home right now, and I do not have a power of attorney. And the reason I did not have a power of attorney is because I don't need it for any reason here at home or on the home front, for any sort of reason. I can do anything, I can take care of anything, and it's been known that he was going to leave, and nothing was ever brought to our attention that, I would need a power of attorney to sign for him for a frozen embryo transfer. And this was including after our negative beta too. So it took about a week to fix that problem because he's gone, and he's at a place where he doesn't have access to like hardly anything. So a lot of people were busting their butts trying to make this work, including my husband, whenever I did get to talk to him. Bless his heart. And he was sick during all that. He was in and out of the hospital. So I know he was stressing out about that. And I felt horrible that he was having to go through all of that for something so tedious and shouldn't have been a big deal. And I don't even want to get into that. It was a stressful week. But finally it got worked out. Bless my nurse's heart for like seriously busting her butt to try to make everything work. She is a lifesaver. But we finally got that fixed. I was so close to having to cancel my cycle. but I ended up only getting pushed back a day with my birth control, so I took an extra pill, and so I stopped my birth control on the 28th of October, and I was supposed to call them with the first day of my menses. And I have always started my period, always, and I am putting always in capital letters, started my period 2 days after stopping my birth control. Never fails. But I called it, well, you know, it had already been like kind of a bumpy road up until stopping my birth control. I called it when I was talking to my nurse. I'm like, you know, this is going to be the time that my period decides to be stingy and not come. So I stopped my birth control on Monday the 28th, and lo and behold, guess who never showed up? My period. My best friend decided not to come, and so I was stressing even more about that. I was like, just, can I catch a break, please? Let's see here. So each day that I'm waiting for my wonderful period to come, I'm looking at this calendar that I had made up. I'm waiting for my period to come. I'm just pushing it back each day. They had a tentative date of having my transfer on the 18th of November, and that was clearly not going to happen with each day. I did have some spotting a few days after stopping the birth control, as well as throughout the birth control I had some spotting too, but nothing more than that. And honestly, it was like, you know, leftover from last cycle, which I don't normally get either. So I had voiced my concern to my nurse saying, you know, this isn't normal for me. It's not like me not to get a period, and I don't want to not say anything and still wait for this period to come if it's never going to come, and that spotting is all I'm going to get. So by this time it was a Friday. Yeah, a Friday. And she was like, I'll get back to you by the end of the day and let you know what the deal is. I have to talk to the doctor and see what she wants to do. So Friday afternoon, I got a phone call saying, you know, good news, you don't have to cancel your cycle, because I was pretty terrified that I was going to have to cancel, because for all I know, I was way past cycle day 1 or any of that nonsense. She said, give me a call or shoot me an email. It was actually shoot me an email because she didn't have her own call phone of that weekend. Somebody else had it. So she's like, shoot me an email, because I regularly check that. If you decide, not if you decide, because if I would have had the decision, I would have had my period long ago. But call me or email me, call one of us, get a hold of us some sort of way if your period decides to come this weekend before Monday. If not, on Monday, come in at 8:30, and we will do a ultrasound to check your lining to make sure you're suppressed enough, as well as check your estrogen levels. So my period never came, so I went in Monday and had my blood drawn. I'm not sure what the results were for that, but it was fine. As well as checked my lining. My lining was like a 4.5, I believe, and they wanted to see it below a 5. So it was where it needed to be, but it was also kind of pushing it. So Monday afternoon, that would be the 4th, I got a phone call saying, you're good to go, start your estrace today, it's cycle day 1, and double up on it. I was supposed to take my estrace at that point twice a day, 1 pill. So 2 pills total. So she said, as soon as you get off the phone with me, take the pill and then take another one for the evening. And by this time it was like 4 o'clock. So yeah, that kind of puts us up to where I am now. I am taking estrace every day. As of right now, I'm still taking 1 tab twice a day. I'm taking it at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And then starting tomorrow, I take 2 tabs twice daily. So I'll take 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And then by the 13th, which is Wednesday, I'll be taking 2 tabs 3 times a day. So I'll take it 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. and I will continue the 2 tabs 3 times a day for the remainder of the time until I get my beta or they tell me otherwise. I don't have an appointment. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair. It's getting on my nerves today. I don't have another appointment until the 15th. It's totally different from last time. You know, last time I was going in, you know, every other day to every day, checking my lining and seeing how my, you know, stimming was going. So it's very different. I only had, I'm only supposed to have 1 appointment this cycle, but I ended up having 2 because of a no-show period. So my next appointment isn't until the 15th to check my lining to see where we're at. And then approximately like 6 days after that, I believe. Wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 days, my bad. 9 days after that, approximately, as of right now, I'll have my transfer on the 24th, which just so happens to be my, it's my birthday eve, so the day before my birthday. So as bummed as I was that I had to keep pushing my transfer back, I am very thankful now because it is a good birthday present to get to transfer my last 2 snow babies back where they belong. I couldn't be any more thankful for that. And it also takes the stress off, as if I would have had it on the 18th like we had originally planned or hoped for, I would have been finding out around the time of my birthday and the time of Thanksgiving when I'm having family come in to spend the holidays, or that particular holiday with. I would have potentially been, you know, possibly, knock on wood that it's not the case, that it was a negative beta again, and that would have ruined my birthday. It would have ruined family time, Thanksgiving. I would have been so bummed. I know it. So I am very, very thankful that it got pushed back, and, you know, everything happens like it's supposed to. Obviously there is a reason that my period never came. I had to go through all this trouble, and that it's not until the 24th now, or whenever it really may be. So I'm very thankful. The medicines I'm on this cycle, I already told you the estrace. I am taking baby aspirin every day. And then I have Valium again for the day of the transfer. I have my antibiotics that I start 5 days before my transfer. And then I have, this one's a steroid. This one's, 5 days before the transfer, and this one's the antibiotic that I start 5 days before transfer. So 2 of the medicines I'll start 5 days before the transfer, and then I'll be done by my transfer, no more. I have Valium the day of transfer to calm my uterus, and I start my lovely, I didn't even say this yet, I am obviously not on Quinone this time around since I had such an ugly, bad reaction to it. It was awful. And like I said, they think that may be why, you know what? I have missed quite a bit, actually, I think. I have. They think that may be why, you know, the transfer possibly didn't work, because I was sick after my transfer, which you guys know. The first 2 days after my transfer, I had a fever, I had, you know, cold sweats, really, you name it, I had it. Which I say I missed a lot because obviously since then I've had a consult, which we really didn't talk about a whole lot. We talked about, you know, reasons why possibly the cycle failed, and that was one of them, as well as, you know, just there's so many variables. And we also talked about what kind of approach that we were going to take this time around, and they just answered my questions, pretty normal questions after a failed cycle. And then I had a third time's the charm, saline on a histogram, and everything was fine, which I was also nervous about because I didn't want any more polyps to come about. So anyways, yes, I am all over the place. I apologize. I am on progesterone and oil. So I have my lovely bags of intramuscular needles. This is 18. Yes, 18 gauge, which is what I will draw up the medication with. And then I have 22 gauges, which I will administer. And I will be doing those by myself since my husband is gone. And I am very, very nervous. I have said all along, you know, just put me on the progesterone oil. I'll be fine. I'll deal with it. It's much better than having the reaction I had last time, which is true. And plus the Cronona is nasty. However, now that the closer I get and the more real it's becoming that I'm going to be doing it, the more nervous I get. I'm terrified. So if any of you guys have tips on the progesterone oil, I would greatly appreciate it. I've heard some people say ice, definitely prior to administering the progesterone, as well as I've heard people say don't, because some people believe it tightens up the skin, which makes it hurt more or whatever. I'm not really sure. There's arguments to both sides, but if you could tell me what worked for you, that would be great. And I also know a lot of people say to apply a hot rag or heating pad to the injection site afterwards and kind of massage it to disperse or dispense the oil, you know, appropriately so it doesn't cause any pockets or anything, to my knowledge. So yeah, I am really nervous about that. So any tips or tricks would be greatly appreciated to make my life a little bit easier. I don't know how soon after my transfer beta will be, unlike last time I knew. So I would imagine it's going to be within the first week of December, but I'm not sure. I really hope it works this time, but if not, obviously it wasn't supposed to. More than likely we will not be doing IVF again. In fact, this entire time I'm saying this is it. We have these two chances with my fresh and my frozen. If that's it, we're moving on. However, the closer I get to the end of it all, even though I obviously don't know the result because I haven't even had the transfer yet, I'm kind of leaning more towards, well, maybe we'll take a few years to save up that money because, I mean, we're pushing $20,000 out of pocket already, and we just don't have that money lying around. We drained our entire savings account, so maybe we'll take a few years and try again, or we'll just, you know, nip it in the butt now and move on and proceed with adoption, which I want to proceed with regardless. But it would also be nice to have the opportunity to have both of those in my life, like have a biological child as well as adopt, and I think that would be a blessing too. So, I mean, time will tell. And then also we do get a refund because we're a part of a refund program. Granted, we're only getting $5,000 of, you know, the $20,000 we put in back. However, that's much better than nothing. I'll take it. So we also have the opportunity to, you know, A, put that back into savings, you know, B, take a vacation, because after this year, both of us surely need a vacation, or, you know, put it, you know, towards an adoption fund, because adoption's not cheap, everybody knows, and it's a long process too. I wish we would have gotten started with this a long time ago. Or use that money to save up for another IVF cycle. And, you know, time will tell. I'll know more, you know, when I'm put in that situation. So that's kind of where we're at now. Hopefully I will have enough energy, or not even energy, motivation to do another video by or around the 15th after I have my lining check to give an update of where we're at. I mean, not a lot going on until then. I'm just taking my estrase, and then eventually I'll start my progesterone oil. So that is where we're at right now, and I just want to say thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I have gotten pretty close with a few girls. I don't know what I would do without you guys. You guys have definitely helped lift my spirits, as well as help, you know, reinforce a positive mentality as I'm going into this frozen cycle, as well as it's nice to be able to be there and, you know, be a listening ear for you guys as well. You guys are amazing, and I couldn't have done this without you, and I'm very, very thankful for you guys. I hope everybody else is doing well. I would love to keep getting updates from some of you that haven't been posting videos, as well as I definitely still watch your guys' videos when I get a chance. And that's usually in the evening, so I do make time for that. I hope you guys are doing well and you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye.